Hello, Homestead. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing for a moment of silence.
From Homestead Media, this is HHS In Depth.
Today is Friday, February 9th, and welcome back to HHS In Depth. Let's begin with a quick overview of today's show. Starting us off will be reporter Carly Swimiller, who will bring us a story on future Spartans and how they are being prepared academically at our elementary and middle schools. Later, Owen Kruger will give us an insight on how students can effectively combat late work and stay on top of your grades this semester. We'll also bring you part 2 of our month-long celebration of Black History Month. You'll get a weather report from Caroline Burns and also a sports recap in Down to the Wire. All of this and more on HHS In Depth. Hello Spartans, welcome to HHS In Depth. I'm Matthias Arzmendi.
And I'm Mara Nicholson. And Matthias, I was so excited to see the sun the other day. Today is actually the warmest it's been all week.
I know, and I'm so glad that it's starting to warm up.
I wonder if we can expect another chill anytime soon.
Weather reporter Caroline Burns is here now to let us know what to expect.
Well, Matthias and Mara, today is pretty warm, with a slight chance of showers. But will it be cold enough this weekend to have to bring back our winter jackets? I'll be back a little later on in the studio to tell you more.
Thanks, Caroline, for filling us in. I'm hopeful that the freezing cold weather is behind us once and for all.
Be sure to stick around as Caroline will tell us about that as well as this weekend and next week's forecast.
HHS In Depth, National News.
Switching now to national news. Recently in Congress, the Republican members of the Homeland Security Committee strongly recommended that the House impeach the committee's secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas, due to his actions when handling the southwestern border. They argued that Mayorkas willfully and systematically refused to enforce immigration laws, which posed a problem since border security is a stressed issue in the 2024 election. The impeachment hearing was this past week and had a tie of 162 to 162. Ultimately, 2 senators ended up changing their vote, and the debate ended at 161 to 164. However, Republicans immediately moved to bring back the resolution up for another vote. On a brighter note, the Sesame Street star Elmo recently made a post on the app X, previously known as Twitter. The post was simple and straightforward, saying, "Elmo is just checking in. How is everybody doing?" As innocent and sweet as that may seem, this was an unexpected comfort for many, as hundreds of fans started creating comments that were more serious than the post initially expected to attract, bringing up serious and depressing topics. After a couple of days of the post blowing up on social media, Elmo made a follow-up comment expressing his sympathy for all that were going through something, and included at the end, #mental wellness. This not only got a lot of attention and reposts, but also inspired Elmo's Sesame Street co-stars to create their own individual posts assuring fans that they were available if they ever needed someone to talk to.
Thank you, Mar, for the national news update. Well, we turn now to our celebration of Black History Month, where we get to honor and remember the important and impactful people of color in our nation's history.
That's right, Matthias. In this week's segment, we will showcase those who have had incredible impacts in today's society, as well as hear from some of our very own classmates at Homestead.
Jack L. Cooper is widely considered to be the first African-American radio broadcaster. Born in 1888, Cooper entered the radio industry due to his experience in journalism. In 1929, he traveled to Chicago intending to make a radio program targeted towards a black audience. Cooper would grow over the coming years, creating his own studio and ad agency. By the late 1940s, Cooper produced more than 40 hours a week on 4 stations, having the largest black radio operation in the country. In 2012, Cooper was posthumously inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame. His success laid the groundwork for generations of black radio personalities. Let's continue to celebrate Black History Month, impactful black Americans like Cooper, and the strides they made over the course of American history.
Black History Month is a small piece of the yearly calendar that celebrates African Americans' greatest achievements, triumphs through oppression, and their contributions to our country. And now it is our turn to continue that change.
To me, Black History Month means a lot because it's really a great time to showcase a lot of the progress that Black people in America have been able to really cultivate. And it's kind of beautiful to see that throughout everything that's been put against African Americans, we've been able to endure, and we're here today, and we're able to make such great impacts in the world. It's also good to have a time to be able to really put a lot of emphasis on it, because I feel like it's kind of a thing that we don't talk about as much in a lot of history, even though we really always talk about all the negative things, all the hardship that African Americans have been through in slavery and things like that, but not really as much of the intricacies of, like, after enduring that hardship, having to adjust to a society that wasn't made for them, and how far we've been able to do that and how much we've been able to contribute to the world that we're in. And despite having been put in such bad situations, we made light of all these things, and we continue to thrive, and things are just getting better, and our prospects look even better, and we just try to help the world the most we can.
Tanya Morrison is one of the people that made a great impact on my life. She is an African American author of The Bluest Eye, and she talks about the importance of self-acceptance, and she believes that in order to love one another, you have to love yourself first. Malcolm X, MLK, Rosa Parks, Bessie Coleman, Jane Bolin all made differences and set platforms for generation to achieve success and achieve greatness.
Some people of color that inspire me and really motivate me are pretty much all of my family, including my sisters, my mom, and my dad, because they've all been able to do such great things with their lives, and they've never really let anything stop them, and they just keep striving for more and more, and they help bring out a lot of creativity in me, my twin sister especially. And my older sister really just helped motivate me to just do my best in everything I ever step my foot in. And, you know, a lot of great figures as well throughout history, you know, like Nelson Mandela and Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, along with many others. You know, like Michael Jackson motivates me, and Kanye West, and people like that help to show me that the sky's really the limit with things that I can do. And whenever you see people who look like you, it really shows you that, like, you exist and your voice can be heard, because it's really good to see someone who can represent you in a way that you can identify with, because it really helps you feel like you're not alone. And as a kid, having people to look up to like them really gave me that sense of belonging. And I had someone I could actually identify with.
Make sure to tune in each show this month, as we'll continue our Black History Month segment throughout the entire month of February.
As we begin our second semester, it is easy for students to fall behind on schoolwork, especially when senioritis kicks in.
Although I'm not a senior, I definitely have my fair share of work to catch up on.
Luckily, reporter Owen Kruger brings us some advice on how to stay caught up for the rest of the year.
Throughout the course of the year, students may forget to turn in an assignment or two. However, with numerous delays and cancellations, it's easy for students to lose momentum and get behind on their work.
Oftentimes students get behind because of several pieces. Could be not participating in class, could be not being present on Zoom. Procrastination is a big one. Just overall not being prepared for classes.
According to Mrs. Bay, getting behind on work can have more than just an academic effect on a student.
When they don't turn their work in, it does a couple of things. First of all, they get zeros, obviously, for the assignment or whatever the teacher's late policy is, and those vary. They get points taken off. But it can also mentally put a student in a position where they feel failure, and a lot of times that snowballs into, well, if I didn't turn that in, I'm already behind. Why should I even keep trying?
Despite the potentially demoralizing effect late work can have, there are ways students can help manage their grades through their very own teachers.
Having the good conversation, the good talking points, and learning what they can do differently in order to lift that grade to where it needs to be. The teacher's the go-to.
Although teachers are always willing to be helpful, it's important for students to speak up when they need their assistance.
And not to wait, not to procrastinate and having that conversation, but getting right in there.
While a 0 in the gradebook may be discouraging, it's important for students to continue doing their work in order to stay on top of their assignments. Reporting from HHS in Depth, I'm Owen Kruger.
Thanks for the story, Owen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on HHS in Depth.
Welcome back to HHS in Depth.
Students, beginning this upcoming Monday, February 12th, door 26 at the 9th grade academy will close permanently. All visitors will use the new door 33, accessible via Homestead Road entrance. To accommodate those visitors and substitute teachers, students will no longer be allowed to park in the small lot nearest to door 33 entrance. Students risk being towed if they park in this lot. Please note that students can park in the other two large lots on both sides of Homestead Road. Looking ahead, there will be a new 650-spot student lot adjacent to door 1 once the old Freshman Academy wing is demolished. For students who have parents that drop you off or pick you up, please notify them to use the Spartan roundabout by the Spartan Arena. Door 33 is not a pickup and drop-off location.
Seniors, please have your senior quotes submitted to the yearbook staff by next Wednesday, February 14th. Requests can be submitted via the Google form that was emailed out to you last semester.
Are you an honor roll recipient from fall semester? Check out the bulletin board in the hall across from the former Student Services office to see if your name is on the list. Administrators will be in the cafeteria on Wednesday, February 14th during all lunch periods to hand out your honor roll certificate and special treat.
This final date to register for the 2025 presidential inauguration trip to Washington, D.C. is today. Any questions? Contact Mr. James at the email address shown here.
Key Club is hosting their annual canned food drive starting February 12th and ending on March 15th. Key Club members can get 1 sponsored hour for every 5 cans they bring in. The prize for the class in first place is pizza and cookie cottage cookies. Second place gets pizza or cookies, and third place gets whatever the second place doesn't choose.
With Valentine's Day coming up, the FCCLA Club will be selling candygrams during lunch. If you would like to buy one for someone special or even for yourself, you can find them at the front of the Homestead cafeteria during all lunch periods.
In order for students to get acclimated to the academics we face each day at Homestead, their teachers have been using their time in elementary and middle school to get them ready for their next step to high school.
Reporter Carly Swimiller tells us more specifics on how those pre-secondary teachers are preparing their students' academic journey to high school.
Many of us grew up in the Sachs district looking forward to becoming a Spartan in our future. From kindergarten to 8th grade, we learned foundational skills to help us get to that moment. But what were those skills and what benefits will they have in high school?
Now things count. You can fail a middle school class and you still go on. whereas over there, it's not that way. But I think there's also the excitement because you gain a lot of independence as well. You just looked at it differently.
I think they're all really looking forward to the big school, the construction project, and being able to see like, wow, that whole space is Homestead. The sports and athletics excites them. Like a lot of them here even talk about going to basketball games to see different things, different events.
Though clubs, athletics, and Homestead's campus is inviting and also intriguing to those future Spartans, the main reason we come to Homestead and attend classes through the day is for our education. Our Sachs elementary and middle school teachers are equipping their students with skills that will help them to succeed in their future high school years.
We try to instill a sense of independence. Things that you would do as an employee who values their opportunities, right? You show up to work on time. You give your best effort all the time. You have the freedom to do whatever you want, but you don't have the freedom from the consequence.
The fact that our kindergartners and first graders can get on Canvas and find an assignment and find their Zoom links is going to help prepare them for middle school and high school and being a little bit more independent. Using the Sachs portrait of a graduate and like talking to them about words they don't quite understand, but being able to break it down and explain to them why this is important. Like these are skills that you're going to need when you go to high school.
It's crazy to think about how in the next 4 years, there will be a brand new generation of Spartans here at Homestead. The skills they're currently learning in their elementary and middle school classes will foster them into becoming great Spartans in their future. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Carly Swimiller.
Thank you, Carly. Stay with us. We'll be back on HHS In Depth right after this.
Postseason play is still in the midst of action, including the girls basketball team who played in a classic sectional championship this past Saturday. I'll tell you the results and more later on in Down to the Wire.
Welcome back to HHS In Depth.
Welcome back to HHS In Depth. And Mara, this week has felt like a glimpse into spring.
I'm with you on that one. I wonder if we've seen the last of the snow for a little while.
Weather reporter Caroline Burns is in now to tell you what to expect over the next 7 days.
Thanks, Matthias and Mara. I too am hopeful that 2024 is through with its snowfalls, especially since this past week has been so mild. But these warm temps, unfortunately, aren't here to stay. Today, with a high of 56 and a low of 38, will be the warmest it'll be for a while. So be sure to get outside and enjoy it. But do be on the lookout for potential showers. As for this weekend, it'll remain in the 40s with a high of 46 on Saturday and 40 on Sunday. Both days will dip down to the 30s at night. Not warm by any means, but at least the sun will be out during the day. Moving into next week, the colder temps will be present. Starting on Monday with a high of 38, at night it will get very cold, dipping down to the 20s. Tuesday and Wednesday mirror Monday with highs in the upper 30s. Moving on to the second half of the week, it will get even colder, starting on Thursday with a high of 33 and partial clouds. We might not see much of the sun throughout the week because of the clouds, but we remain hopeful the Punxsutawney Phil's prediction of an early spring is on its way. Mara, Matthias, back to you.
Thank you, Caroline, for the weather report.
Joining us now to fill us in on all things Spartan athletics is Josh Bobet with this week's Down to the Wire.
Welcome back to Down to the Wire. I'm Josh Bobet. These past weeks have been some big ones for Homestead athletics, with many incredible accomplishments. Let's start with our girls basketball team. The girls basketball team played in the sectional championship at Columbia City on Saturday and pulled out a thrilling win versus number 3 ranked Columbia City Eagles 57-49. This hard-fought victory was led by sophomore Maya Epps, who had an incredible 22 points and 3 rebounds to go along with it. Gabby Helsum added 13 points to the total as well as 3 rebounds, and Whitney Ankenbrook scored 11 points with 3 assists. She also led the team with 8 total rebounds. The girls will head down to Marion to take on McCutcheon in the regional championship tomorrow at 1 p.m. Be sure to wish the girls good luck in their run to the state championship. Moving to wrestling, last Saturday, the boys wrestling team competed in the Carroll Wrestling Regional and got 5th place overall. These 6 Spartan wrestlers will compete in semi-state tomorrow at the Coliseum. Make sure to congratulate these wrestlers and wish them good luck at semi-state. Heading over to the water, the girls swim and dive teams competed last Saturday in the sectional finals, with the swim team placing 2nd overall. Multiple individuals on the team are heading to compete in the state finals today and tomorrow at the IUPUI Natatorium. For the dive team, Elle Hollingsworth and Ellie Murotani are advancing to regionals next Tuesday at Helen P. Brown Natatorium. Be sure to congratulate both teams and wish them luck. Back to basketball, our boys team got back in action after a long break. And while the game might have not gone the way we wanted, it was highlighted by the return of senior Will Jamison. After his devastating injury last November, he played in his first game this season. He came off the bench making an immediate impact, both offensively and defensively, including scoring within his first minute of playing time. Congratulations, Will, on making an incredible comeback, and we all look forward to continuing to see you play. This past Wednesday, many of your alumni signed at colleges to continue their athletic careers into college. These alumni include Brett Fox, Trine, Wyatt Little, Valparaiso, Keegan Mooney, Manchester, then Orlando Sheets, Jackson Bell, and Cruz Persley all signed to Indiana Wesleyan. Congratulations to these student athletes on continuing their academic and athletic careers. Any girl interested in track and field, official practice begins on Monday, February 12th. Practice will be at Homestead from 3 to 5 p.m. You need to dress in the PE locker room and meet in front of the cafeteria for attendance. All final forms information must be completed and compliant to remain at practice. Here is more information on practices and meetings taking place next week. It's a busy weekend for our winter sports teams. First up tonight, the boys basketball team heads to Concordia in a big conference game. Tomorrow, our girls look to win their first regional championship in 7 years as they play against McCutcheon at 1 p.m. down in Marion. We have 6 wrestlers in semi-state tomorrow at the Coliseum and 9 different girls swimmers competing at state today and tomorrow. Good luck to all athletes and teams. That'll do it for this week's edition of Down the Wire. I'm Josh Bobe. Mara, Matthias, back to you.
Thank you, Josh, for the sports update. And Mara, speaking of sports, who are you rooting for the Super Bowl?
Well, I don't know that much about sports, but I'm just hoping to see Taylor Swift there. What about you, Matthias?
Me personally, I don't really care for either of the teams.
All right then, this has been HHS In Depth. Thank you for watching today.
Make sure to check our socials for updates on the HHS ID team and our upcoming projects.
Have a splendid weekend, Homestead. We'll see you back here again next week.